I'm Mike A. Pratt, and this is Geek Therapeutics, cohort number 17. And today we are going to be running Alien RPG by Free League. This is a horror sci-fi role-playing game. Tonight we'll be running a scenario I wrote called Flight of the Malaga. This scenario actually I wrote as two parts, what's called the home team and the away team. If you saw this prior, or you're going to be seeing this later, tonight I'm running the away team mission. And later I will be running the home team missions. Next time will be in Tuesday. So if you like what you see here and you want to see how the other half lives or dies, then you can check us out there too. What we are going to do very briefly is we're going to introduce our players and our characters. I would like you to say who you are, say who you're playing, and say what your job is on the ship. And we are going to start with our first officer. Abe.
So introduce ourselves and our character.
Your name, your character's name, and what you do on the ship.
Okay, my name is Abe. My character is First Officer Jay Kingsbury. He is the ship's dad / captain. All right. Is he the captain or just the first officer?
He's the first officer. First officer.
Yes.
All right. Next in line for order on the ship, we have Kerr. That would be Devin.
Hi, my name's Devin. I am playing Flight Officer Kerr. I am the ship's pilot.
Okay. Then we have Dave.
My name is Dave. I'll be playing Sergeant Wong, Marine Corps.
All right. And reporting Dave is Kayla.
Hi, Kayla. I am playing Private Farquhar, and I shoot the guns.
Nick.
Hi, I'm Nick, and I will be playing lead engineer David. Basically, he likes to smoke. He likes to sip off his bottle and do as little as humanly possible.
And Tebra.
Hello, my name is Tebra, and I am playing Rose. Rose is the ship's synth, and we work as the assistant lab technician.
Okay, excellent. So we begin with a rude awakening. The lights in the hibernation chamber are blaring red instead of their usual blaring white. A klaxon is going off, and all the pods are opening up, and all the crew is waking up very quickly and quite blearily. Kingsbury is the first one out of the pod and stumbles over to a nearby console where it is where Mother is trailing a bunch of information, but the console is also has flashing lights on it. It indicates a fire in lower engineering. Looking around, several of the other crew members are waking up and stumbling over into to get on overalls, and Dr. Honig is awake but is vomiting into a little cup that's kept next to the bed next to the cryopods for just such a reason. The captain, who is oftentimes very brisk and abrupt, is also up, already in her coveralls. I can just come and put them on. And Spark says, "We have fire in lower engineering. Everyone get down there as quick as you can. We'll split into two teams. Let's go." As you start to filter out, Kingsbury you're the last one there, and you notice two things going on. First, Rose is not there. This is not surprising. As a synthetic, she doesn't sleep, and she doesn't need to worry about the sleep. So she is presumably someplace else on the ship. Second off, everybody's up and moving and dressed, but Burns is still apparently asleep. And it doesn't look like the ship's medical officer has noticed this. Kingsbury, what do you do?
Burns, you there? You there, buddy? I try to wake him up.
She seems to be just totally asleep. At this point in time, like most of the crew is filtered out of the room. The director is still there, and Dr. Honig is still there because he's not ready to wander off. But the medical officer Deacon has left. Also, this is a very rude awakening. Everybody starts with one level of stress.
All right, Farquhar, just understand you can't put out this fire with your weapon, okay? So let's see if we can get some water to put out this fire.
We don't know. If I shoot it fast enough, it might fan it out.
All right, so let's jump then down to lower engineering, where Wong, Farquhar, Walker, and Davis are all traveling together. The lower engineering, one of the pipes is ruptured. It is spitting flames into the hallway. Now there is fire suppression equipment there that you can get, you can work with, but the fire itself needs to be attacked in a right way. So, Davis, you are aware that you could possibly it is the heat, and it is like a flammable gas that's being pumped through this that it's caught on fire. You can shut it off to help the Marines fight the fire with the fire extinguishers they've got. And this is actually going to be the first roll of the game. So Davis, I would like you to make me either a heavy weapons, or sorry, not heavy machinery, or a comtech roll to be able to turn this or reduce the pressure in this thing so that one of the other characters can put the fire out.
All right, I'll definitely make a heavy machinery check. It's asking for modifiers. That's 2. Correct? That's right.
Usually what you'll do is you'll just click on the words heavy machinery.
Yep.
In this particular case, unless somebody is specifically stepping up to help you with this, you're on your own. So I don't think you have any modifiers.
Okay, so just submit 0 then. Okay.
Yep. All right, you got 1 success. This is enough. You crank the wheel, the pressure goes down, and this allows Wong and Farquhar to attempt to fight the fire there. Walker has pressed on to go check out another area. I would like to have Wong or Farquhar. You're going to need to make a ranged combat roll.
I will do that.
Presumably you're.
I got it, Sarge.
Presuming that you're working together, you get a +1 on this. And that's enough. You managed to get the fire out, but there's still more problems going on ahead. But at this point in time, we're going to sort of skip up a bit because for time, there's more problems, but you're able to get the fires out. And Walker and Burns, who finally came up, along with the captain and the doctor, have managed to get another fire out. And the Klaxons, thankfully, go out. An all call comes out, the captain on there. And she says, all right, all crew to the meeting room. We need to find out what's happening and where we are. Rose, prepare a report, because talk to Mother, find out what happened and what's going on. So unless anybody has anything specific that they're going to do in the next 5 minutes, other than maybe swing by their cabin to get dressed and maybe pick up the gear that they typically normally have on them, then we will jump to the meeting room. I'm not hearing any dissension, so.
No, I'm just I'm just gonna reach behind a bulkhead, grab out one of my stash bottles, and make sure I bring that along with me.
Just so, just like that. All right. So the feeling in the meeting room is tense. Everybody woke up with a bit of a shock. Everybody's a little bit on edge. Nobody is really happy about what happened there because you're all kind of singed and sooting, soot covered. But the captain takes charge of the situation. She says, "Rose, what does Mother say?" Mother, in case you're not familiar, is the ship's computer. It's an AI, a little bit like Star Trek's AI, only not as smart.
Mother reported that at 22:32 hours, the Malaga picked up a distress beacon from the EEV and executed an automatic course correction to intercept. During that operation, a heated pipe in the lower engineering ruptured, resulting in a fire.
All right, course correction. In EEV, where are we?
It appears that we are currently en route to the EEV and can expect to make contact with them within the next 10 minutes.
Now, I'll remind you that while we are a science, while our mission charter is that of a science exploration vessel, we currently have a priority mission from the company to recover some cargo. It's not glamorous, but the company does want it fairly badly. I'm putting up here on the display the mission briefing. We're on our way to the supply station Carmen 3 to retrieve the cargo, and this is going to be a really quick and simple operation, and it should not be that we should just go in, get the cargo, and leave. Not a concern. What is a concern is when I was down in lower engineering, I noticed that that what appeared to be bullet holes in some of the pipes and bulkheads in that area down there. Now, if anybody knows anything about why there might be bullet holes on the ship, please bring forward so the appropriate parties can be punished. All right. Well, then, if that's the case, it sounds like we have 10 minutes to get going. Sergeant Wong, I want your team, along with Dr. Deacon, up in the forward loading dock so that we can pick up this EEV and rescue the survivors. But the mission has not changed. We will be picking them up and leaving and proceeding directly to Carmen Station where they can help out. Where presumably we can leave them. Dismissed. All right. Right now, you guys have about 10 minutes to go and do some stuff on the ship before you go out. Does anybody have anything in particular that they want to go and do in the next 10 minutes?
I'd like to check on the status of our smaller ship that we're going to use to descend.
That would be
to
the
EEV.
Pamela.
Yes.
Or actually, the Pamelas would be the smaller ship, but probably the Malaga will dock with it directly.
Oh, okay.
So you're hitting the Pamela anyway?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and head there anyway. Make sure that that's fine, that the fire didn't get to any of that or mess any of it up.
All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab your character token here and put it down there. You guys should have control to click on your character tokens to drag them around, and I will use that as a way to indicate that you are moving around in various places. If you're moving from a place to someplace else, or whatnot. Does anybody else have anything in particular that they need to do? If not, I'm going to presume then if you did not earlier, you're picking up all of your standard operating gear.
I'm definitely gearing up.
Okay.
I'd like to just take a peruse of the cargo bay, do an inventory, make sure that any sensitive cargo is not missing, anything like that.
Okay. No, the cargo is exactly where you'd expect to find it. But there might be a little problem with shifting that cargo. And I think that you will need to, if you want to shift that cargo, you're going to need to do a thing to get it shifted properly.
Sounds like we have to get a loader on board here. Walker, let's see what you can do with that loader. Get that stuff properly stacked up.
So as a reminder, in Roll20, you can type /W and then start to type in the name of either a player or even a character. And it will send them a private message.
And I'm thinking that you're playing the other away cast members. Like when I refer to Walker, I refer to you because he's the other private.
Absolutely. Yeah. And
Right.
he immediately hops to helping you out with that.
Right. And I'll just smoke a cigarette watching him and observing this precious cargo.
As that happens, Rose will make their way down to the lower deck in order to inspect the supposed bullet holes that were mentioned, to see if there's anything that they can do to understand what may have caused the situation.
Okay. I'm presuming that Davis is headed down there, as well as Burns. Burns is now up and operating. Burns, in case you didn't know, is Davis's opposite, where Davis is kind of lazy and wants to do nothing better than to drink. Burns is a A-type go-getter, always something to get done personality. The captain before the end of the meeting had pulled the two engineers aside and said, "I need you down there fixing those leaks. It's critical. Get it done." And that actually brings it to a point then. Davis and Rose and Burns. Davis, to get the job done, you could do it in 3 different ways.
Mhm.
The first is I'm bad at numbering lists. You could do it right, which sounds like a lot of work. You could try to half-ass it, do a hack job to get it done, but it won't be like the correct way you should be doing things.
Mhm.
The third way would be to not do it at all and sort of force Burns to take care of everything. It's a big job. She's probably not going to be able to do it all correctly before it's going to take her a lot longer to do by herself than it would be if you were to help.
Yeah. All right, Burns. Come on, let me show you the real way to do this. Drop your manual. You ain't gonna need it.
All right. So I would like you to make then a heavy machinery roll.
Okay. Do I get a modifier where she's helping?
She's helping you, so go ahead and get a +1. Rose, you're also there. Do you want to assist Davis and Burns on fixing the problem, the pipe that burst into flames earlier, or are you specifically investigating the bullet holes?
My primary objective is to observe what's going on. However, if I can assist the humans without interfering with that primary objective, then I will assist them.
Okay. Well, it looks like he didn't even ask you for your help. He was able to get it done on his own. There's a couple corridors, some fairly long corridors in lower engineering that definitely look like there is bullet holes, and in one side little cupboard, there are sheets of metal that have targets painted on them. It looks like somebody has been using lower engineering as a firing range.
Okay. Is there anything that I can do to ascertain who may have been doing that?
I mean, you could go down the list of process of elimination. I don't think you need me to tell you.
Well, I'm trying to think of within the game if there's anything I'm supposed to be rolling.
No. So one trick about Alien as a role-playing game is that generally we don't ask for a lot of checks. This is more checks than sometimes you'll get. And we only ask for checks if failure is interesting. So
Okay.
if Davis had failed, it would have led to an interesting occurrence. But he didn't, so it's fine. So, but if you fail to investigate or you fail, then you just don't find anything that's not interesting that doesn't advance the plot. So you succeeded. I didn't ask you to make a roll.
Okay. In that case, would you mind reminding me of the individuals that had woken up? I remember the people that are in our group. However, there were a few names. I believe it was Honig.
So, so real quick to run down the list of crew members aboard the ship, I will actually take you back over to here real quick. There are 12 members on the ship. The captain is in charge. The director works directly for the company and is, while not a crew member, is kind of everybody's boss.
Mhm.
Below the captain is the first officer, Kingsbury, who's in the crew. Kerr, who is the flight officer, is the and then Dr. Deacon, who's the ship's medical officer. Dr. Honig, who's the ship's science officer. Most ships wouldn't have a science officer, except that this is specifically a science vessel. There's the 3 Marines, which primarily do protection of the away teams. If you like for planetary surveys, there's Sergeant Wong, Private Farquhar, and Private Walker. And there's 2 engineers, Davis and Burns. Davis is the lead engineer, Burns is the assistant. And then, of course, yourself is the ship's synthetic. You report to Dr. Honig, but you're kind of the bottom rung because your second law says that you have to obey orders, which means that anybody can kind of ask you to do whatever work they want to.
And I believe that the only name I don't recognize from us waking up is Private Walker.
Private Walker is one of the Marines.
Yeah, but I don't remember us saying if he was asleep with us or not.
He was.
With them. Okay.
Yes. You were awake. Everybody got up when the alarm, except Burns, who got up like 10 minutes late, which is weird. But not. But apparently Deacon checked her out and said she was fine. Probably won't come up.
Okay. Well, there's nothing immediately that's jumping out at me for who could have caused the damage, and if I'm not rolling for it, then I guess I will return to the science quarters.
Okay.
Okay, then what I can do is I'll let Walker do his things, and I'll be inspecting all weapons to see if there's any weapons fire from my troops.
Okay. You can proceed to the armory to check on that, but actually before you get much of a chance to do that, you get a message from the bridge where the captain is and the first officer and the director's also there, that you are coming up on the EEV. They're firing the harpoons to pull the EEV into the loading dock, and then you will be boarding it and ascertaining the situation.
All right, so we have to board the EEV right now then.
Yep.
All right, troops, let's go. Marines, forward, march into the EEV, double time.
The EEV, by the way, is Emergency Escape Vehicle, if anybody was not familiar with that acronym. The harpoons go out, they're magnetic tip shots with cables on them, and it drags the EEV close enough to have the umbilical reach out and grab it. Positive seal is made, and there's the ship is able to communicate with it. The EEV doors are able to be opened. Inside is a very small flight shuttle. For those of you who have seen the movies, this is the same model of EEV used at the end of the first, beginning of the second movie, specifically the beginning of the second movie. There are 4 cryopods on board and a rudimentary navigation system, along with some other additional equipment that's normally kept on board. Although this one has been fairly well stripped. When the door comes open, of the 4 pods, one of them is currently open. 2 of them are closed but empty. Sorry, open but empty, closed but empty, and then one of them is closed with an occupant in there. Wong, you have priority to go forward on this one.
Right, you're saying to load up and gear up the EV and prepare for launch, eh?
Yeah. Want to know if you have anything particular to proceed. Otherwise, I'll just take you further from here.
Right. I'll make sure all weapons are clean and see for any fire on the weapons, and that'll be it.
All right. So then, far as going into this possibly hostile place, you're letting Farquhar or Walker go first? Okay. So, Farquhar, do you take the point, or do you let Walker take point?
Locked and loaded. Let's go.
All right, Farquhar boldly steps in there, waves your smart gun around. It's not picking up any viable targets. When you get at a right angle, you can see the occupied EV. There's a guy inside. He's but it seems to be clear. Reminder that this thing is not that big. We're talking basically like a small room.
Clear, Sarge.
The doctor comes in and begins poking at the display on the pod and goes, "Oh, this isn't good. He didn't go through the procedures properly. This is all messed up. It's a good thing we got him in time." And begins a wake-up procedure. The cryopod opens up, and this guy sort of starts waking up, but he's kind of bleary. He's got a fight suit on it, but it looks like it's covered in grime, and like a sort of a maybe dried blood at some point. Deacon's like, "Who are you? Do you know where you are?" And he's like, I'm Moore. I don't know. And Dr. Deacon, the ship's medical officer, makes the call at that point in time to be like, "Okay, this isn't good. He's in a shock from improper sleeping, so I'm going to sedate him." Farquhar, can you get a stretcher for right outside and help move this body?
Yep, sure thing.
You load up this officer, whose name is Moore, and he is taken to, and you take him immediately to medical. On the way out, Sergeant Wong is there, and you're kind of looking and watching everybody else go. You think you see, maybe just for a moment, something flesh-colored, about the size of a cat, also escape from the EEV and disappear under the floor grating.
I'm going to observe.
But it might have just been something in your eyes. You look over there, and there's also like a yellow light over there that is kind of spinning, and you think that maybe it was just that. It's probably just something tricking your light. It was nothing. Don't worry about it. I don't know why I brought it up.
Just gonna observe a little bit and have them point the UV, the little beep beep thing, to see if anything's in that area, just for the heck of it.
All right, so you sweep it around. You have a normally Walker's the one that would carry the motion tracker, but for argument, you got it because his hands are full. You sweep it around, and you think you pick up like one pip on the motion tracker disappearing somewhere into the cargo bay. But whatever it is, it's if it was anything, it's fast. But sometimes these things are kind of busted, and they'll sometimes pick up like if a cable's moving or something that like because of pressurization changes, it will be that it is an issue. But you get a call from the bridge, and the captain is like, "How's things going on the EV? If it's all clear, well, we're going to cut it loose and continue on with our mission."
We've got one blip on the radar, sir. I don't know, maybe it's a little creature, but that's all we have. It's clear.
Did you actually see anything, or is it just possible faulty equipment?
That's probably faulty equipment. Didn't really see anything clearly. Just giving a little report. All
right. Well, then let's go. Make sure your crew's off. Walker got the flight recorder from the EV. That was his job to get on board. He did that already. So we're cutting it loose. Which just make sure you're clear. The doors the doors close. You can see through the little window. They basically cut the EV loose. They do a quick burn to turn the ship, and it's going to be about 30 minutes in FTL to get to the Carmen station. This 30 minutes will typically stress everybody out because traveling faster than light without sleeping is bad for the human psyche. But if you keep calm, you relax, you have a drink or a smoke or just have a meal or just do something else, it's not going to be that much of a problem. You'll be able to calm down. So real quick, I'm going to go through each person, and since I've got long at the front, we'll start at the front of the ship and work our way back to ask what everybody is particularly doing during this 30-minute time period while the ship is jumping to their destination.
I'm just shooting the shit with the troops and occasionally taking a little drag out of my Imperial cigarettes, you know.
Okay, so you're keeping it calm.
Yeah.
All right. Who the next person would be is Farquhar. Farquhar, are you hanging out with Sergeant Wong and shooting the shit and keeping calm? Or are you doing anything that might stress you out?
So I'm gonna convince Walker to play cards. Sarge, you want in?
Yeah, I'll ante up.
All right. Walker will be in there with you. I'm presuming that you guys are doing this not in medical, so we'll move you over to the living spaces area of the ship. Kerr is the next one there. Are you doing anything in particular, or are you just keeping calm?
I'd like to see maybe what Burns is up to right now.
Okay. So you spend a while tracking her down, but she is busy fixing some broken stuff in the lower engineering bay. Things are not great down there.
I'll, for as long as I can before I'm needed back up on the bridge, lend a helping hand and maybe try and make some small talk.
Okay. She seems to be genuinely appreciative of your assistance, and while it's really nice to be spending time and hanging out, like the fact that you are doing a lot of work while in hyperspace does stress you out, do gain a level of stress.
Alrighty.
Kingsbury, are you doing anything in particular during this jump?
I'm
We're just keeping it calm.
I'm staying calm up on the bridge, talking with the captain, having a little smoke.
Okay. Davis, are you doing anything during this time period, or keeping it calm?
I'm keeping an eye on Burns, checking her progress every so often, but yeah, I'm just walking around, got my little flask here, taking a sip, having a smoke.
All right. And Rose, do you have anything in particular that you are doing?
I'm observing the new human.
Okay. So you're up in medical. He's been sedated.
Oh.
Dr. Deacon is he was in bad shape, and he's been sedated. So they're just generally monitoring him. This is most people who travel in hyperspace know the proper procedures for calibrating a cryotube, and apparently he didn't calibrate the cryotube before he got into it. He just got into it, and that gave him problems.
Curious.
The ship comes out of hyperspace, and everybody hears a bing off of the side of the ship, which is usually a bad sign that you've hit something and something metal has struck the ship. Kingsbury, you're on the bridge, and you see out the window for that, but the captain's like, okay, situation has changed. We need everybody up in the meeting room. Quick meeting before we get to the station. All hands. Presuming everybody just heads up to the meeting room. You load up on the main screen a picture of the Carmen station. If you click on it, you get to view it bigger. It's a supply station. It's a Seegson design, but it's a triple spire linked together. Two of the spires are for fuel refining and for one spire is for fuel refining, one spire is a bonus reactor that's used for fast recharging batteries, as this is a supply station for ships traveling in this area. The reactor tower should not be looking like that, surrounded in a cloud of its own debris. Something has clearly gone wrong at the station. And this is not a great sign for you. Captain Guest says, Mother reports that the station is the station is intact, but the radiation from leaking from the open reactor spire is flooding the area, and we're unable to communicate with it. Furthermore, the landing dock that we would typically use on the habitation spire appears to be destroyed or severely damaged. So what we're going to need is we're going to need to load up the Pamela and send over an away team to get the missions, get the cargo, determine the situation, and get back. Your objectives are to restore communications to the Malaga. They have a dish that should be able to do a direct beam communication, and get the cargo crates. The station commander knows we're coming and should have them ready for us, most likely kept in some sort of secure storage area. But we're going to need to send. But we can't go there ourselves. So, Kingsbury, I want you to take lead on this. Wong and Farquhar, you're on security. Davis, they may need some problems with heavy machinery or with because there may be other broken functions on board that need to be resolved. Rose, if you want to go along and observe, that you're free to do so. Kerr, you of course are piloting the shuttle. I will remind you that we are not a rescue vessel, and we do not have the capability of taking people of taking on additional survivors. The deacon spoke up and says, Honig comes up and says, I looked at the EV's information. It says that came from the station. And Deacon comes up and says, our new guest is sedated in the medical bay, but he's definitely not in shape to go back over. I figured we could probably, if we have to travel again, we could put him into Rose's pod, if that's okay, Rose.
Absolutely.
Captain's like, all right, well, let's get this done. I want to get in and out and get on our way and get paid for it. The sooner we get back to civilization, the sooner we can let them know that something's gone on here and a real rescue could be organized. All right, move out, people.
All right, Marines, let's go. Move it. Hey, Kingsbury, while we're moving and grooving here, can you review what the heck this mission is? This captain's giving me a lot of information. I'm experiencing information explosion. What the heck is our job? We don't hurt anybody. We don't take any prisoners. What are we doing here?
We're simple. We're going in, we're getting the supplies, and we're making sure that we're checking the situation, because this doesn't look right. We're gonna get in, get out, keep it simple. I'm sure this will be fine. I doubt anything weird going on here. Just be at the ready, but it'll be routine, I'm sure.
Don't worry, Sarge. We'll shoot anyone that tries to stop us.
That's my trigger happy Farquhar. There you go. All right, sir. I like this thing about getting cargo and money. Let's saddle up.
Assuming I'm nearby when I hear Wong say that, yeah, I bet you do. Just shoot him a glare from my aviator glasses.
Right. Presume that you get whatever your typical equipment would be. You load up into the Pamela, which is a dropship shuttle. For those of you who have seen the film, I modeled the Pamela after the dropship that was used in Alien Covenant. So it's a large multi-room thing. It's designed to drop down to planets and and have like crew quarters, and there's like a rudimentary medical bay and a science lab and other things like that on there. But it's roomy enough, but there's not a lot of seats on board because not a lot of crew members anyway. And you fly over to the station.
I'll try and keep this a smooth ride for us. Maybe for some chop.
I think that I would like Kerr to go ahead and make a piloting roll for me. But before you make that roll, Kingsbury may have some ability on that to assist with this.
Do I have an ability for that?
You can make a command roll, or I would say if you've got any levels of pilot, which I don't remember if you do or not.
I have 1 level of piloting and 2 levels of command.
So you can either say I assist him, giving a flat +1, or you can roll a command check and give him plus whatever your successes are.
I'm gonna roll a command check because my command skill is higher.
Okay.
And no modifier for that, correct?
Yeah, for your roll, it's no modifier.
Did that go through?
So, yes, that came through. So Kingsbury is deftly monitoring the advanced trackers and is able to give directions to fly through the debris field without any sort of pinging or even hitting of anything. So go ahead and Kerr, make your piloting roll. Add 4 to this.
Oh wow. Okay.
Kingsbury is on top of it.
Feeling a little more confident now that I got Kingsbury helping me out. I kind of like rub the control panel a little, like, all right, baby, stay with me, Pam. We've made
Well
it
done,
through worse.
Kerr. Keep it up. You're doing great.
All right. So I would like you to go ahead and also click the panic button that's on your character sheet. It's on the left side.
All right. It has been clicked.
All right. So you manage to get along. You fly it deftly up to the cargo bay. When you get close enough, you're able to use a visual thing to open the pod, but as it opens up, there's like somebody didn't pressurize the magnetic field correctly, and so you get a blast of gas, off-gassing, that buffets the ship a bit before you're able to land. And let me see real quick what you have on you. I'm going to say that the maintenance jack that is normally listed on your character sheet, actually not the maintenance jack, the service pistol falls out of your holster, and you currently do not have it. You won't recognize that it's gone until later. But you do have an extra success, so if you want to show off, that is absolutely a thing you can do at this point, or some other thing that you can do with bonus successes. It's called doing a stunt.
I feel based off the character description, Kerr would probably want to do some kind of stunt to show off the piloting prowess.
I would think that maybe Kerr would do this thing where he would, before coming into land, put Pamela into a spin, so that it like ends up spinning around and then with just momentum backsliding directly into the landing spot.
Kind of like drifted into place.
Yeah, you drift it into place.
Yeah.
So you land it in the cargo bay, and it's and as everyone sort of piles up near the doors open, and the light from the cargo bay shines down. You might need to scroll right and down. Shines down on a puddle of gore right at the bottom of the landing ramp.
Oh my god.
We might finally see some action, Sarge.
The lights
Oh man.
The lights inside the cargo bay are on, but they are but they're not all on. It's more like emergency lighting in here. You guys did notice as you came up that the cargo bay did have you did notice as coming up that there was power. The station does still have power, primarily from its backup reactors, you would presume. But this pile of gore is it's a big red splorch there, and there's a trail you can see leading off deeper into the cargo bay area. I'll remind you that you can find your character tokens on the map. You can click on them and then drag them around to move your character, and that will change what you can see.
I guess seeing the gore kind of with everybody, I kind of looked to Kingsbury like, Kingsbury, what the hell happened here?
I will also say I'm not going to force anybody, but if anybody feels it'd be appropriate to gain a level of stress from seeing this puddle of red jam,
I think it would be appropriate for Kingsbury.
I would like to inspect it.
all right. You determine it appears to be human and it's fresh, like still red, still wet.
Is it still warm?
It's kind of cool in here. It's cooled to room temperature, but that's not surprising. That would be within minutes, like, to do that.
I hold up the hand that has a little bit of the blood residue on it to the others, and I just say, "Oh, this appears to be recent."
Whoa! Hey, Rose. Look, I understand we joined this crew at the same time, but I don't know about this whole touching it like that.
Oh, what's wrong? I don't understand why this would be a problem.
I think if Kerr did not gain an experience, did not get a stress level from seeing the gore there, seeing Rose waving it around and saying this is recent, fresh, definitely gives him a stress level at that point.
I'm just racking them up, man.
Right. Kerr and I don't agree on much, but it's probably not a good idea to touch the old bloody hand.
Hey, do you guys notice there seems to be a trail back this way?
Sarge, should we investigate?
You may notice on the map that it's that it looks like just drops, but it's a little bit more of a line than drops. Just to let you know.
I don't know about you guys, but this is setting off my Scooby sense, if you catch my drift.
I don't.
I'm implying that there's something weird here.
I would be inclined to concur with that.
Given my complete lack of emotions, I'm going to follow the blood trail.
Okay.
Because I think that
Rose starts walking off.
I'll chase after Rose because we joined at the same time, so I feel like there's some bigger level of like camaraderie there. Like, hey, Rose, come back. Wait, what? don't go too far.
Farquhar, y'all need to get in there. We need this. There could be something dangerous. We need y'all up at the front of this.
A human may be in danger.
Hey, I found a tunnel.
So yeah, so around the corner, standing there. I'm going to move Rose slightly further ahead to get the full view. Anybody else who's with Rose can move their character up as well. There is a Working Joe. Now, if you're not familiar with Working Joe, Siegson, who is another company besides Wayland Yutani, makes sort of off-brand, lower quality things. And this is Siegson's version of a synth. It's an android, but because they couldn't sort of compete, instead of trying to make a good one, they made one that's very specifically not a good one, and then branded it as you're not mistakable for a human. Working Joes have like a blue-white skin. They've got extra rubbery, like an extra rubbery neck so they can look around. Their eyes are two pinpricks of white light. They're they're also considerably less intelligent than the company brand synthetics, which are nearly indistinguishable from humans. These ones are definitely fall into the uncanny valley. This one in particular is has blood gore just down the front of his jumpsuit, and he's holding an arm. And he notices you come around the corner and looks at you and says, "Can I help you?" By the way, that's a human arm. It's like by the wrist.
I point to the arm in his hand and go, "What happened to the humans?"
This character here. The Mulaney was in distress, and I helped Mulaney. I can help you, and begins walking forward, getting closer. Just starts walking up.
How'd I get out my knife?
Yeah, I've got my smart gun raised.
I
Okay.
reach for my pistol and realize it's not in its holster.
Okay.
I got your back, Synth.
I
reach
hold out
for
my
my
hand
gun.
thinking that he's going to hand me the arm.
I think that it looks at your hand and then hands you the arm and turns to Wong, who's right behind you, and goes, "Help you?" And then sort of takes a step past Rose, who's now holding this arm.
No, don't help me. Back up.
May I make an observation check to inspect the arm?
Sure, it's a female arm. It's human. It's still warm. It's got part of a sleeve still attached to it. It looks like it was ripped out with some great amount of force. Now, synthetics, the term superhuman strength has been used in reference to synthetics. And it would certainly be possible for a Joe to do this. Now, while Joes are also 3 laws safe, in theory, their also programming is a lot more bug-ridden. And there have been stories.
I turn to Care because he seems to be the one that's been interacting with me the most. And I hold up the arm towards him and go, "This is still warm." And then I look at the Joe, "Did you pull this off of a body?"
I helped Mulaney. Mulaney was distressed. Mulaney is no longer distressed.
Will you show me, Mulaney?
He looks around. I don't see Mulaney.
Where was she last?
And then he looks at the arm. He goes, "There is Mulaney." You make a note as you're looking at the arm that it has a barcode on it, and because you've got the ability to sort of detect this sort of thing, that barcode is under a PDT, a personal data transmitter. It's a little bit like an RFID crossed with a GPS chip. It's not uncommon for colonists or station workers, whatnot, or just people in general to have them, have the company mandate putting them in there. And it's pretty clear that the Joe, did a search round for Mulaney by visual view, but then looked at the arm and saw that. One other thing you notice from this is that as all this talk is going on, Sergeant Wong appears to be slightly distressed. Wong, gain a level of stress for me.
Okay, I'm at level 2 stress now.
Yep.
Yeah, hey, let's get the engineer on this one. I'm not liking this situation. Then I use my command voice. Back off, Synth. Not you, Rose, the other one. My little command to my voice. And the engineer, we've got this Blue here, this Joe. I'm not liking it. Can you check out his barcode and look into him, please?
All right. Go ahead and roll a panic for me there, Wong. All right. The The Joe, upon being ordered to back off, actually backs off. Gives you an appropriate amount of space. And it says with like a sort of a rote, "I apologize for any inconvenience." And it like turns in place, takes 3 steps away from you, and turns back around to face you.
Yeah, I'm gonna shoot it.
Okay. Go ahead
That's
and
my
make
Marine.
go ahead and make a close or a range combat roll. All right. You've got a lot of bonus successes there, but why don't you tell me how you disintegrate this target?
Yeah, I've got my smart gun out, and the second he turns around, I just fill his head full of lead. Just unleash on it.
All right. The smart gun makes a very distinctive sound, which echoes through the place, and it kind of shocks Davis because it's shooting past his ear. I think everybody else was kind of expecting it. Kingsbury, you notice maybe it was a weird from the echo, like when the gun stopped firing, you heard something like screeching or maybe clattering. This loading bay, by the way, is like a big warehouse and has like walkways or like scaffolding above hand, and you hear some like screeching and clattering and movement around in the scaffolding. But it was probably nothing. It was probably just an echo from the cannon. But yeah, this Joe is definitely dead. You just cut it up and down with your smart gun.
It won't be disregarding your orders anymore, Sarge.
All right. Is there any
Is
like
that really
little barcodes
necessary?
in the Marine operation? Let's get the engineer up here. Let's see if we can find any chips or anything or barcodes about this particular engineer. Could you please go look at these barcodes, please?
Sergeant Wong,
so-
with all due respect, I second Kingsbury's inquiry.
Yeah, was that necessary to blow this thing up? I mean, I know it wasn't exactly a nice thing to look at, but was that necessary?
Seemed pretty necessary to me.
Let's analyze the facts. What we got here is a Joe with an arm, okay, and a blood trail leading to this. The facts are obvious.
Do you still have your arms?
I look down and check.
David,
It was necessary.
Is there anything you can learn from this guy?
Yes, I was just about to get to that. So Davis doesn't have the particular kind of multi-tool hacking tool that you would use for this, but Kerr is carrying one of those. And so Davis is like, I can't do anything. Kerr's like, here you go. And Davis plugs into the Joe. It's a messy operation. Instead of blood, synths have a fluid. It's like slightly watered down milk, or like oobleck that wasn't made quite right. So it's kind of got a texture and a little bit of a sort of a white milky color to it that's sort of splattered everywhere. So Davis has to get in there, and his hands are covered in this stuff, which is like slightly sticky, but also just very runny. You find the data core that's kept in the head because humans are not clever about where they keep these kinds of things, and you plug in the data core into it, and you get back a recent recording of what the Joe saw, basically the last 30 minutes. And that can be, there's a little screen. It's like postage stamp size, or 3-inch screen on this thing that you can play the recording from the Joe's eyes.
Okay. Well, get it all plugged in. Look over at the private. Say, Private, come here.
All right.
It,
So who's going to let me ask the question then, because I'm presuming that are going to go and play back this the last 30 minutes. Although it'll be done, you'll like click the 4x button or whatnot. It'll go through much quicker. So who's crowding around to look at the screen?
I'd like to see this.
I wandered off trying to find the rest of the supposed body.
Okay.
I'm pulling guard duty to make sure no other bad Joes come in the area.
All right.
Yeah, same.
So looks like the Joe is just wandering around in the cargo bay, and there's a noise, and then another noise and a scream, and a woman with like pale hair. She's fairly she's not that old, but she's got like full on like silver gray hair. Comes out from around a corner, right about here if you're looking at the map, and like runs up and gets right up into Joe's face and is just like, "It's after me! It's after me!" And Joe's responds back, "Mulaney, you appear to be in distress. How may I help you?" It's like, "It's after me! Get me out!" And she starts like hitting the Joe. And the Joe grabs her, like you can see, the Joe grabs her arms, and then her eyes go wide, and she looks down, and there's a black spear sticking out of her chest, and then two giant hands with long, like must be like 8-inch long fingers, with claws on the end, come out of the darkness, grabbing her shoulders, and just rips her away. And the Joe continues to hold onto that arm, and like looks and just doesn't see it. And then the Joe's like stares up and starts to wander off. And then the last part of it is the alarms going on for you guys landing. Whatever just took her, it couldn't have gotten far. Like, this was minutes ago.
With a bit of a shaky voice, I'm like, "Hey, does anyone happen to have a spare pistol on them?"
I think that everybody who's crowding around and watching this, with the possible exception of one of the two Marines, would gain a level of stress.
Man,
It was a horror, like what you saw happen earlier. Like, the more details you get, the more horrifying it is. Now, I will remind you that you guys can lose levels of stress by performing stress relieving activities such as drinking or smoking or joking around. For every 10 minutes that you spend in a safe location, as far as you're aware, you can also use to burn off levels of stress there. But I will also point out that you do kind of have a time limit. As a reminder, your mission objectives. Oops, I meant to show this to you. It's not great. Locate and secure the cargo crates, restore communications to Malanga, and return. If you don't restore communications to Malanga, Kerr, you know that you're going to have a much harder time getting telemetry data.
When did our communications go down?
As a reminder, you can't. The normal communications between the station and the Malanga are out because their reactor is exposed and is filling the area with radiation. So it's just drowning out all communication you've got.
Is there any more of this blood trail?
So Rose has walked around the place. You do not find. There's a couple places where you can see some blood, and there's some other places here. There's like a cargo crate, like one of those shipping containers, like a modern day shipping container, that's open. It looks like somebody's been using it as a house, basically, like a hobo house, where they just sort of set things up there and close the door to keep themselves safe. It didn't apparently work. There's no body, but there's a large blood stain inside. You also find, as you've been wandering around, a briefcase, kind of a conspicuous briefcase left in an inconspicuous location.
I will bring that to the crew's attention and draw them to the briefcase, as this seems like it would be of interest to the humans.
Okay.
I have learned that they do not want to see blood splatter, so I'm not going to show them the blood spot.
Okay. The briefcase, I'm presuming you open it up?
I'm not going to.
Oh, you just offer it. You offer the briefcase.
Yes.
You offer the briefcase. Okay. Does anybody do anything with this, or is just leave Rose to carry it?
So I don't see where Rose is at on the map.
I had come back
It's
around
fine.
the corner.
Everybody's back together. I can just move
okay.
everybody's tokens together here.
I'll move myself.
We're going to be leaving this map here very soon because it.
I don't know where I went.
It doesn't extend.
Oh,
much
okay, you
beyond this.
moved me.
Yeah. Okay. So what I'm going to do is actually, I'm going to move you guys to this screen. Do I have the right players? I do not have the right players, but give me a second. I will put the players on there.
So, Kerr, do you mind if my troops and I, we branch off, secure that cargo while you officers do your officer thing? That's one of our mission objectives, I believe.
I don't know why you're asking me, but who better to secure cargo than yourself, am I right?
Well, yeah, that's true. Kingsbury, you concur, sir?
I fully support that. So y'all gonna go to the cargo deck, and then myself, David, Davis. Who else? We need a couple people to head up to comms platform, and I want Sergeant, Private. Can one of y'all come with us, because I don't like the idea of going up there without someone a little bit more heavily armed.
Sounds like your department, Fark. Walker and I will go check out the cargo as usual, and you guys take care of the communications and all that jazz later.
So, as a quick point, Private Walker remained aboard the Malaga, because they've got somebody there who's not supposed to be there and just having ship security.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
Also, I don't want to play an NPC.
all right.
I go up to the first officer and I hold the briefcase out to him and I go, "Ship Daddy, I found this."
Yeah. Oh. Let's take a look at this.
It seems to have a.
Don't call me Ship Daddy.
It
Or
seems
I
to
was
have
told to
a
call you
simple-
Ship Daddy by Farquaad.
Private.
I don't know what she's talking about. She's malfunctioning again.
Anyway, let's open this.
The cargo the briefcase seems to have a fairly simple lock on it. It would typically open with like a PDT, like an RFID lock would put you so that you can click it open. But you could probably force it open there as well.
I offer the arm that I had.
Actually, that does the trick. You open it up. The briefcase is full of cash.
Oh.
Specifically, there's a lot of credits kept in here. Possibly more than you would be making, than the crew would be making on this mission.
Got paid early.
Well, this is interesting. All right, everybody. We need to make sure that this briefcase stays very safe. Get it back, and yeah, I'm pretty sure we are all going to make out very well today.
All right.
Everybody understand? Good.
So I understand that the party is splitting up. Now, for most role-playing games, splitting the party is a terrible idea. But for Alien, I like it. Yes, split the party. So some of you guys are heading up to either all the way up to avionics or up to the operations level, and some of you are staying on the cargo deck to recover the cargo from here.
Mike, I'm not entirely sure as a synth. I know I'm very, very strong, so I could be very helpful with the crates, but do I have any capability to help with the comms at all? I don't know if that's in my wheelhouse.
That's a good question. So somebody who has comm tech, which is the general computer skill, like levels in that or levels in wits, which is the sort of appropriate attribute associated with comm tech, would be a good pick to going to dealing with the getting the communications back online.
Okay, then I will be going with them to do that.
Okay, well, I don't like the idea of Sarge just staying by himself down here, so.
Well, how's about this? Private Farquhar, Engineer Davis, y'all come with me. We're going to head up to comms. Flight Officer Kerr, Sergeant Wong, Rose, y'all stay down here and work on cargo. How's that sound? Good.
Sounds like you're the one giving orders around here, so that everyone agrees to that.
Are we understood? Very good. Wonderful. All right. So I turned to Flight Officer Kerr. Kerr, you need a sidearm?
I would certainly be most appreciative if you happen to have one on you. That being said, sir, I am quite skilled with working on context. So in the event I do have the necessary equipment, that being said, I understand if you need us to stay put. In that case, I can certainly hand you this here, and I'll hand him the maintenance jack in the event that they need it while working on the contact.
I'm going to take that, and I'm going to hand you in exchange my pistol. I have a pulse rifle, which I will make sure to take out and hold very closely, as I do not like whatever's going on here.
Okay.
So you point that end at the bad guys.
Thank you, Private.
I think the service pistol is the same as the one that you have written on your character sheet, so.
Yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Gladly.
So let's go ahead and deal with it's going to take a little bit for them to go up to avionics. One thing that you do verify is that within the station, because of proper radiation shielding, your internal communication does work. So you are able to radio each other. Even if it's not written on your character sheet, to presume that you've got like something like a walkie-talkie that you can reach out to each other on there. But moving around the cargo deck, you find a way to the that says basically a split path. To the left is secure storage, A, and to the right is the cargo master's office. And I think Wong is sort of leading the way on this one. Wong, do you go right or left?
Let's head straight to the storage. You want Synth? You want to investigate the office over there? I mean, Rose?
I was going with the people up to the comm deck.
Oh, excuse me.
Okay, you were ordered to stay down on this level.
Oh, I must have missed that. I'm sorry.
Oh, it's fine. I wouldn't have actually even said anything with that, except that your character was ordered, was given an order.
Yeah.
Well, that seems kind of silly because I have a lot of contact, but okay.
Okay.
Right.
So you want to investigate the office there, Rose?
All right. I go
Okay.
investigate the office.
Yeah.
And then Kerr, are you going with Rose or Wong?
I will. Well, it's tough. Making a call, I would rather go with Rose, I think.
Okay. So, Kerr and Rose head off to the cargo master's office. It is half of the office is like some consoles and like terminals that would have like spreadsheets on them. The other half of the office is like paper filing. The whole place is kind of a mess. There's evidence that something happened in here because there's like a broken coffee cup on the floor, but it looks like somebody spilled spilled coffee across like one of the consoles there, and the cup rolled off the counter and broke. But like, there's no evidence that anybody cleaned any of that up. This station, by the way, as a reminder, as you're wandering through it, should have like 70 people on board, 75 people about thereabouts. You have seen so far part of one,
and I still have it.
And you still have it. But you are able to dig up some information. I'm presuming that you're going to be looking through some files, trying to find what information you can, and also finding out about the cargo crates. You access the terminals. You find out the cargo crates are kept in secure storage A, and then and that they arrived some weeks ago. There's a note left in there that says that they were retrieved from a ship called the Holistic Light. The note indicates that the Holistic Light was a derelict that jumped into the sector, and that the commander of the away team, Paxton, went over to there and picked up, scoured the craft and picked up these crates, which apparently on company orders to bring them back. But you discover that that's the situation, and from your location, you are able to remote unlock the doors to secure storage B. When you do that, you can see that there's evidence that somebody has entered in a code, or like basically hacked the doors open from this console about a week ago, or not a week, about a week ago. Wong, are you in front of secure storage A, or where else are you going?
Well, as I move out, I'm gonna check with Officer Kerr to, based on what he knows, which area is the best, and I'm presuming he says A.
Yeah.
To get cargo from. I look for a loader.
Okay.
I'm not good at this.
You find a loader.
Okay.
Cargo loaders in the Aliens universe, if you're not familiar, are like exosuits. So with like big pincers on the front, and you strap into it and load it up. Do you have any ranks in heavy machinery?
I do not, but I'm going to push it.
Okay. I think that it would be interesting if you failed this. So go ahead and make for me a heavy machinery roll to see if you're able to get this loader going to where you need it to.
And how do I push it? Do I submit a higher number?
No, what you do is you just roll the dice, and then from there we can see what happens. Because you may just succeed, because you get to add your it's your strength value plus your so you did not succeed. So if you are going to push this roll, what you do is you're going to gain a level of stress, and then just click it again.
Okay.
All right. It takes you a little bit of time, but you're able to get it going, and before long, you've got a rhythm, and you've recognized it's you. You recall a time when you worked with a different kind of power suit, and it's similar concepts on that. You're able to get it over there, and by the time you get to it, the doors open. Inside the secure cargo secure cargo area is a single crate. And what's more is it looks like somebody has opened the crate, not in the usual way, but by pouring thermite on the side of it. Because the whole side of the crate is like dissolved, and like a hole in the floor is dissolved as well.
I don't know if I want to go next to that crate. That's the only crate in town?
You were expecting 3 crates, and you got 1 crate, and it's damaged.
All right, I report this to Kerr. You want me to proceed with the crate, sir?
You said it had thermite poured through?
Yeah, thermite, some foreign substance.
If you're not familiar with thermite, by the way, it's it's a material that burns very, very hot. It's used for melting things. It's got a lot more military applications than civilian ones does. But
I mean, I expected we'd find ourselves 3, but there's only one. I guess there ain't much we can really do about that right now. Might as well proceed, I suppose.
Meanwhile,
all right, I'll take the old. Okay, sir.
Up in avionics, the main lift takes an interminable amount of time, depending upon how quickly your computer loads. But when you get up to avionics, it looks like similar to what you saw before. It looks like somebody had maybe set up like something like a fortification here. The main hallway that leads into the avionics control center has looked like it had been barricaded by like pushing desks in the way, but it was not a very good barricade operate.
This does not look good.
The stuff has been pushed back. There's evidence of small arms fire attacking the barricade, and also as you look around, returning fire from there, like pistols. One thing that's about the alien universe is everybody is ridiculously overarmed.
The perfect
America in
amount
space.
of armed.
And I'm specifically armed with an arm.
So, but like,
Doubly armed.
if you've seen any of the films other than like the first one, like there were especially the 2 new ones, there are way more weapons than there really should be for those kinds of things. A lot of weapons look like small, like service pistols. They also have these EVA pistols, which are fire little plasma bolts out. If you've seen Prometheus, that's a weapon they actually use in there. They were written in the other ones. But how do you proceed to this barricade? Like I said, it's just a simple. It just seems to be like someone's put tables and desks and piled them up, but it's been pushed past, and you can slip through.
I want to clear it I want to check to make sure there's nothing hiding in there first. So I'm like kind of kicking things around and have the barrel of the gun pointed in, trying to like make sure there's nothing up in there.
Okay. Given Farquhar's capabilities, I think that she's able to clear the corners and make sure that it is actually abandoned like it appears to be. You're able to slip past, and inside avionics, it looks like somebody may have been trying to set this up as a barricaded off like a hobo house, basically, right? Where there's like a sleeping bag on the floor, but notably there is some like ration wrappers on the ground, but there is no box of rations. But otherwise it's just some garbage, and it looks like most of the avionics is in decent shape. And it is eerily quiet up here.
I don't like this, you guys.
Of course,
something happened here.
As you come around a corner, there's a panel. Looks like it got taken off the wall, presumably for you don't know what reason it is. Farquhar, this is for Farquhar because she's taking point. And there's a tan-colored pipe that you spot like whips up and closes and whips back down inside this panel that's got like an ominous red light inside and some a little bit of a special effects steam and some wiring.
Okay. Is there do I notice any other any movement?
No, that was the only movement you saw, and you were specifically looking for it.
It looks
your smart gun has a visual tracker on it that will give you little pings when it sees stuff. It sometimes picks up inanimate things that move, like if you throw like a big trash can in front of it, it'll pick up the movement and it will lock onto it. But it's usually pretty good about picking up warm targets. And it just spotted this thing there for a moment. That's what drew your attention to it. But the rest of avionics is clear, allowing Kingsbury and Davis to handle dealing with the.
Yeah, it looks all clear, guys. I'll keep watch, but there's like this panel thing, and I don't know, there's wires or something. This is not my department. Y'all figure it out.
All right, Davis, you want to give this a look, see if you can get these things running?
So to be clear, you're ignoring the thing you saw on the wall, and you're just going to go over to deal with setting the.
Yeah, as
aligning
described,
dish.
I think it's a obviously just a wire or something, and I don't know anything about those wires, so
Okay.
they can figure it out.
Fair enough. All right, so Davis, you get the you plug in. I think it was determined that you were given the
multi-tool or whatever.
the multi-tool, and you have ranks in Comtech, so you're able to align the dish with the proper equipment which you have. This is an fairly easy job routine, so I'm not going to ask you to make a roll for it. You line the dish to point at the Malaga, which you can see on a scanner is still sitting at its safe distance out there, and you get a positive link for communication. The light comes on. You can push a button, and a little screen will come up and you'll get like a handset that you can talk through to the Malaga there.
Okay. Plug it in, set it up. Here you go, Kingsbury.
All right, wonderful. Thank you very much, Davis. That is well done. This is good.
Thank you.
All right, I'm gonna hail the Malaga, check in with them, make sure all is well.
Okay. So, and just as a reminder, you guys have been aboard the Carmen station for, I would say, approximately about 30 minutes at this point, between the landing and the spending time with Joe and the cautiously moving and the long elevator ride. And it was about a 50-minute-ish flight over. So it's about an hour and a half, give or take, since you left the Malaga. You hit the button and it starts beeping and you hear boop, 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 boop. And then you're just about to think that like nobody's picking up, which is weird because it brings up on the bridge. Somebody should always be on the bridge. That's part of flight rules. But then the button is pressed, and you can see Walker there. Walker's like, "Holy shit, Kingsbury! How are things going?" He's clearly panicked.
We're doing okay. Some things are a little weird down here. What's going on up there?
So that guy we picked up, Moore, I think his name was, he's dead. They found him dead, shot in the back with a shotgun, and now the director is missing. The captain has like ordered everybody to their cabins, and then she disappeared to somewhere. I don't know what's going on over there. Whatever you're doing, you need to hurry to get back because. And then at this point in time, he like stops, and you can hear like a shrieking sound of like metal and like a vent opening up, and it's like, "Holy fuck! What is that?" And he lifts. You can see that he's dropped the receiver, and you can see him firing his pulse rifle, sort of up, and he's like, and then you hear a shrieking, like a high-pitched shriek, and then you can see like then the frame basically is just looking up at the corner of the thing. You can hear the door open and sounds like running. He bolted.
All right.
You gain a level of stress. Who is standing close enough to hear all this?
Probably me.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably me as well.
Okay, you also gain a level of stress. Stress for everybody.
Stress for everyone.
Shit is going wrong, but you've completed one of your objectives. You've restored communications. Now you'll be able to get telemetry data to get back to the Malaga without it being a problem. Meanwhile, down on B deck, where the cargo is, Rose, the cargo, you're aware that this cargo is specifically tagged These are sample crates. You've dealt with these before in your capacity as an assistant science, and that they would also have like a locator tag on it so that you could track them down. And you figure that if you could get a like a motion tracker, or you could rig something up, you could probably find out where the other crates are. Now that you've access to this one.
Could I use my Comtech ability for that?
You are going to need to use your Comtech ability in order to properly rig up some sort of a tracker for these things.
I can. I'll assist.
You get a +1.
1. I got 0.
Okay. Because you are a synth and you do not gain stress, you cannot push rolls. So you're not very sure of where this is kept. Now,
I should have put down the arm.
you should have put down the arm. Now, Wong, did you carry most of a crate back to the shuttle, or did you just leave it there?
No, that's why I got the loader to bring it to the shuttle, and I'm going to use a little observation, see if any weird old Joes or anything like that, anything militaristically out of place.
So as you get out of the cargo area and you start heading back, you're taking a different route other than the one that you took heading into the where you got the cargo from, because the cargo loader is big and it's bulky, and you still haven't gotten all the corners down quite right. So go ahead and do roll an observation for me. As you're coming around a corner, you notice that somebody seems to have set up small barricades. They're a little bit like chest-high walls, appropriate for getting into a firefight off of. And as you get to push past one, you notice in the glint of the light from the loader a trip line. This barricade has been booby-trapped.
That's not good.
Now, you could definitely just go back the other way. That was a little bit trickier, a little bit longer around to get back there, or you can continue to investigate this booby trap.
I will report it to Kerr, and I will go around.
All right. For this argument, I think that you guys have probably left the cargo master's office because there's not much more there. And that report comes in at just the right time because Kerr is passing by another barricade area, and now to look for them also spots a booby trap. There are quite a few booby traps that have been set around. As luck would have it, the routes that you took didn't have any of those.
Something has been going on here, I can tell.
I'm going to proceed stealthily, as we say in D&D, slowly, carefully.
Okay. As you're making it back around carrying this crate with you, Kerr, you're looking at this booby trap, but you're like, okay, we can go around a different way. And in just on the other side of the booby trap, one of the panels, the vent covers from the ventilation system, falls off. It just dunk, hits the ground, makes a loud noise. I'm presuming you've got like a flashlight or something. We'll say that it's that the pistol has like a flashlight on it.
Yeah.
So you end up pointing that trigger discipline. You end up pointing that down there, and you see this thing hit the floor. As you look up, you can see a shape come out of the top of the vent and come crawling along the ceiling. It reminds you of a cat, except it's crawling on the ceiling. It's all black. It's much darker than, like, it seems to drink in the light, and it moves with a quiet grace there. And as it gets about, say, 40 feet from you down this hallway, it stops and it moves its head, and you think it's looking at you. Rose is also with you at this point in time and presumably also sees it.
my immediate reaction to this is to place an arm and push Care behind me, placing myself between him and the creature.
An arm or an arm?
My arm. I'm holding the arm in the other hand.
Okay. So Rose is pushing Kerr back. Kerr, what are you doing?
With my pistol trained on that thing, I'd say, Rose, we need to get out of here and link up with Wong and the rest of them. Right.
You can actually hear Wong stomping along in this thing down the way.
I would like to. I don't know if I have to roll for this, but I'm going to take the arm that I'm holding and chuck it down the hallway to see if that thing reacts to it.
So you chuck this down the hallway, and it you can see it like looks at it. And then as so it does definitely react to it. It's because you fling it down there, and it just turns and looks for a moment.
If it doesn't immediately like look and then jerk its head back, like if it pauses to continue watching, I would like to push Care and say, "Run."
Okay. Kerr, what do you do?
As they push me and say run, I'll kind of hit the comm and be like, Wong, do not approach us. We got to get out of here. And I'm just going to book it to try and get back up to where everybody else was. I'm not even going to guess.
As Kerr turns and runs, the thing snaps its head back and starts moving along the ceiling much quicker than before.
Is there any way I can intercept it?
So the ceilings in here are fairly high, like 10 foot. The hallways are a bit, they're kind of hexagonal in shape with lower bulkheads and pipes that run along the top of it. But you might be able to intercept it if you jump up. It's big enough that if it goes directly over you, you could definitely like jump up and hit it. Or if you stole the arm, you could definitely hit it even without jumping.
My goal is mostly to protect the Care's getaway.
All right. So back in avionics. Kingsbury.
I can't harm myself. I have to protect myself, but I can't allow humans to come to harm. And that's why I'm staying here. I don't recognize exactly what this is, but I understand that it is going to eat. Due to the human, what happened to the thing that's in my the arm that I threw away. And so I'm not trying to like sacrifice myself. I'm just trying to stop it long enough to let Care get away.
Yes. No, you make yourself very clear about what's going on. I know what's going on. I'm doing a hard cut to get to the other one to increase tension.
Okay.
So back in avionics, Kingsbury, Davis, and Farquhar are considering their options. Now you know that the crates are missing. Rose indicated that she had a method for tracking the crates down, but lacked the equipment to get them together. Because she just didn't have the tools or whatnot. Now, like system scanning capability could occur from the operations level, or you might be able to succeed where Rose failed by rigging something up. What is Kingsbury, Davis, and Farquhar doing? Also, you've been getting some weird chatter about running and something else going on, but it's been staticky.
I think we need to go back and we need to reconnect with the rest of the group. I do not like the way this is going.
I agree.
Y'all, we need to get back to Walker. Sounds like our ship is having issues.
Yeah, there is something up there.
So as you guys are riding you guys load back onto the lift and start heading back down to the lower levels. As you're riding down to the lower levels, something heavy falls on the top of the lift. It goes dunk, and you can hear it stomping around. Closely. Now this the lift is similar to a modern elevator, although it's not counterbalanced because it doesn't need to be. It does have like a hatch typically for getting on top, to getting into the shaft itself, and the shaft itself would have like handholds. Maybe something fell, or maybe as it went by, a survivor landed on top. That's a possibility.
What do you, Farquhar, you want to look at that?
If I look at that, do you make just shoot randomly?
My heart says shoot, but my brain says observe.
As soon as Farquhar hears shoot, she shoots at the ceiling.
Farquhar, I did not order you to shoot.
So everyone gets a little deaf, because
You're
you're
a
seriously
liar.
firing a firearm inside an elevator. Don't do this. Who is it in real life actress ended up making herself permanently deaf that way. Underworld, the actress who's in Underworld.
Oh yeah.
There was a scene where she like shoots the floor out, and she was firing blanks and like gave herself permanent deafness. So don't do it. Don't do it in real life.
Good to know.
Yeah. So, but within ringing, you hit it, whatever it is, and the ceiling bulges down, like it was filling with where the metal of the ceiling would normally be normal. It looks like it actually just melts down, like it was made out of wax, and it drips out, and this glob of yellow green pus with smoking metal falls onto the floor, and as it falls on the floor and splashes, it starts burning a hole through the bottom of the floor. And I think that I'm going to roll a chance cube. 1 or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6. Kingsbury is close enough to get a splash on there and takes a level of damage. This is not a big deal. Generally speaking, you can take hits up to whatever your strength score is. Once you hit your strength score, you're injured. But whatever is up there has squealed and is thrashing around and stomping. You can continue shooting, but the whole elevator, as you're falling, kind of drops and lurches.
The hell?
This thing hurts. Fuck. Oh god. Is the elevator, and the elevator is moving?
Yes, the elevator is moving, but it's definitely not moving smoothly. As this thing is thrashing around, like you can feel the elevator kind of like partially like twisting and getting a little bit stuck in the shaft before it like frees itself and drops abruptly, sharply again. So it's like it's jerking as it's dropping down.
Davis, how much further we got?
You guys are like halfway down.
Yeah, we're only about
You're just
half.
passing by F deck right now.
Oh man.
Y'all want me to take care of this? I don't know what that's gonna rain fire again. But
All right, Farquhar, I don't trust this. Take care of it.
okay, I'm shooting it some more.
Okay. So Farquhar continues to spray shots up top, and for this one, I am going to require Farquhar to make a roll. Now, actually, you don't click on the range combat. If you click on the weapon, there's like you should be able to roll on the weapon at the bottom of the character sheet. I will load it up so I can. If you find it says attack, there's a button that says attack on the right side.
On the right side.
So the bottom section, you should see your weapon.
Aha!
And then it's attack, because you've got modifiers that get automatically added in. In this particular case, you don't get in any extra modifiers. All right, so you spray the ceiling again, and you hear another squeal, and another spray and splotch of blood. Now that you guys are aware of this, you're like pressing up against the sides as this is dropping down. It grabs the hole that's starting to form from the acid. You see this long hand come through, and it bends the metal back, and a head comes down, and it has no eyes. It's just this black, elongated face, and these teeth that look like they're made of glass. And as it opens up and drool comes out, another set of teeth inside come out and clamp. Meanwhile, Kerr is legging it, presumably back to the Pamela.
Yes, I would say that is probably a good assumption. And in between breaths from running, I'm trying to, on I guess the comms that we have with us, like everyone meet Pamela now, ASAP.
All right. I would like Kerr to make a mobility roll. This is for properly running while making corners and navigating the way you're going. He's probably pretty good at this.
Alrighty. Go to flight school, they said. See the galaxy, they said. Oh, are you kidding me? That's terrible. Can I push that?
You cannot. If you get any stress panics on that, you can't push it.
Oh,
but what
man,
I would
that
like you to
stinks.
do is make a panic check.
Well, that I can do. So I have an ability called Reckless, but that doesn't apply if I am receiving stress.
Yeah, I don't recall what your...
It just says Reckless lets me push agility-based checks twice.
Yes, okay. Yeah, if you've received stress, you can no longer push a check.
Gotcha.
So what happens is like you're on the comms and you're running along, and you're like, Wong, I'm getting back to there. Kingsbury, Farquhar, David, anybody, and you stop and you're just staring at your comms and you're like, anybody, is anybody there? Nobody is there. Nobody is responding. You are all alone. You can hear in the other room, Rose is shouting and waving her arms, but nobody else is responding on comms there.
I mean, yeah, I'd probably start to panic and just like in between trying not to hyperventilate and control my breathing, just get to the Pamela.
Okay.
Or get to Pamela.
So for you, you are just just panicking.
Okay.
Like you're stuck there. Rose.
Gotcha.
The creature has started coming out down the hallway after Kerr and is going to basically be going right over her head. It hasn't even seen you. You're shouting at it, waving your arms, and doing your best to defend Kerr from this thing. Oh, I don't know why I haven't brought it on. I don't know where it got to. Oh, it's over here. And it doesn't even see you.
If it's above my head at this point, can I jump and attempt to grab some aspect of it, like a
Absolutely.
tail or bony bit?
Yeah, absolutely. I need you to make a close combat roll.
Oh, I was gonna go mobility, so I'm glad you said something. Where is it? Ooh.
I mean, if you want to go with mobility, if you think mobility is more appropriate than close combat. Close combat's usually used for attacking. Mobility, yeah. Go with mobility if you prefer.
Because I'm not necessarily attacking it. I just want to grab it and... Why do I never roll anything?
So you leap up and you try to grab it and you gain no purchase on it as it goes past you. But I will give you another chance to do a thing before it goes around the corner. You heard Kerr running, but Kerr is now stopped like right around the corner because you heard him on the comms, and you were expecting to hear him yelling into the comms to become faint, and it has not. And he's just like, anybody, is anybody there? Is anybody there? And this thing is coming closer, and it's coming around the corner, and it's probably going to get at him.
Okay, at this point, I'm going to recognize that it doesn't understand that I exist and just try to use the fact that I cannot get tired and I am exceptionally strong to run after Kerr, pick him up, and run with him to the Pamela.
Okay. So I think this would be a mobility roll, but I would think that you could use your strength instead of your agility on this. So what you're going to do is the difference between your strength and your agility is you're going to give that to you as a bonus.
Okay, so I click mobility and then I add a 3 to the...
Yeah, when it asks you if you got bonuses.
Hey, Kerr, any chance you want to try to help me pick you up?
He is
I don't know if I
condition to
can
help
right now.
He was a joke.
I'm like,
He's
I'm panicked.
You're able to pick him up. He is in no condition of helping you. And as you go to grab him, Kerr shrugs you off, and it just continues to stand there, yelling into this microphone, asking if anybody is there. As this creature,
is anything working? What the hell?
as the creature comes over him,
No.
and is standing there, and it with drool coming out its mouth, it leans down and it reaches its inner mouth, reaches out to grab at Kerr's head.
Okay, I do have body card ability where I can.
That will come into
I don't
case.
have to roll anything. I'll just take the hit for him.
Okay. Let me go ahead and just make a quick roll here.
Oh, you get a success.
That's enough. So you take the hit instead of Kerr. So you push Kerr out of the way, and this thing comes down, and it takes a chunk out of your head.
Do I need that?
It's 2 damage, which I think you have 6 total. Yeah, so it does 2 damage to you, which I think you just click the boxes there, and I think that gives you're still in good shape. Yeah, out of 6. But it takes a chunk out of your head, and there's a splorch of your white blood. Meanwhile, in the lift, the other creature has come out and has poked its ugly head around the corner, and it is glaring down at you. And it stares directly at Farquhar, who's been shooting at it. It has no eyes, but it's looking into you. It's gazing into your soul. And I want you to make a panic roll. Actually, gain a level of stress, and then make a panic roll for me.
Okay. Get over here. Okay. Where's the panic
So
roll
above your
button?
stat block, the diamond, there's a small block of buttons. And on the left side in the middle, there's one that says
Aha.
panic.
Thank you.
All right. As you stand there, your hands, your grip that's normally iron on your smart gun begins to shake, and the barrel of the gun, the motor that directs the gun, begins making this whining noise and vibrating your hand because you're shaking so bad the barrel's moving, and so it's trying to correct for that. Everybody else sees this happening and also gains a level of stress. Davis and Kingsbury. In fact, Davis, what do you do at this point in time? This thing is approaching. It seems a little bit injured, but also you're on a rickety lift that is losing structural integrity, and it is menacing.
Well, I've got my cutting torch on me, and I mean, we're in an elevator, so I'm definitely thinking close combat. If we might.
You can run up to
we're
it.
Definitely not going to survive if this thing eats us, so I'm going to attack
and hit it with that. So, as a reminder, on the bottom where the cutting torch is, there's a button on the side that says attack.
Yep, and no modifiers for that, right?
I think that in this case, you'd get no modifiers. You'll get modifiers from the weapon, but it's included. Okay. Go ahead and roll panic for me. Okay. So as you run forward to hit it with this, it drops down into the room like a liquid almost, like a cat coming off of a chair might do this. It drops down into the as it flips over and lands in the ground, and you come up and you hit it with the cutting torch, and you cut it up the side, leaving a gash on it, and it squeals and it knocks you backwards, and you stumble backwards. You lose your cutting torch, and as you cut it, it also sprayed blood out of the wound, and so you also get a level of damage. So you've lost your cutting torch, and you're a bit stunned, and you take a level of damage. But honestly, that was the best result you could have gotten. No, maybe not the best result, but that was definitely a good result. Kingsbury, what are you doing?
I unload on this thing. I aim my pulse rifle at it and blast the fuck out of it.
Also, don't forget that poor Wong is somewhere with some crate, wondering what everyone's screaming about.
Do I click the attack button?
Yes.
And modifier 1 or 0?
You gain. Actually, go ahead and gain 1 level of modifier because of just the extreme close range you are.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure how to read this exactly.
Okay, so what I need you to do is make a. All right, somebody, real quick, Dave, you said that you needed to take off here. I might be another 10, 15 minutes longer, but somebody said they needed to leave.
I said that I was considering I can do
Okay.
another 15 minutes.
Okay,
I can't do
okay,
a full hour.
No, I'll keep it close. Sorry.
Cool. Oh,
Then
perfect.
Dave, you can stick around. I have plans for you, though. I want Kingsbury to make a panic roll.
I love this voice.
Engaged.
So I have good news and bad news. The
fun.
The good news is you keep it together.
Yeah. For once.
The bad news is, it's very easy with a weapon that handles fully automatic to empty a magazine out. So you spraying this thing up and down, and you run your magazine completely dry. But you do hit it. It takes it gets splattered with another. You punch it through, and it sprays blood out as a result. And everybody in the room takes a point of damage.
Oh.
This thing is not in great shape. And we're coming back to Farquhar. This thing is now in the room with you.
Great. That's where I fight best, guys.
Oh, also, if you are firing an automatic, which you probably should be, you just get a +2. I forgot to mention that to you.
Okay. Yeah, if I'm allowed to take an action now, I am definitely.
Yes, it's your turn, your action. Go ahead.
I am firing as much gun into it as possible.
Okay.
So yes, I've got it on full auto.
Okay. So if it asks you, it's a +2.
Okay, so I roll the attack, correct?
Yeah. Click the attack button and then ask modifier. +3 because you're point blank range with it. Okay, you've got bonus successes. You could use those to do additional damage, or to stun it, or to. There's a few other functions you can do.
Okay. I would like to. So, how does this work? Do I just get one choice, or?
So for each bonus, the first success you get is you hit it, and you'll do your damage, which is 3. Each subsequent one, you have a choice of doing a stunt, which when combat is typically extra damage, but for ranged combat can be to cause an enemy to panic, or to stun them, which is like it's called. You can swap your initiative cards, which I'm not currently using because they take longer to deal with.
I choose all of the damage.
All of the damage. You shoot the thing, and it squeals, and it falls to the ground, and it falls through the floor. Everybody who's on board the lift there takes an additional damage. If you are at hit points, if you're already at full damage, you need to let me know. But I think that's probably fine for everybody.
Yeah, I've taken 2 damage so far, I believe.
All right. So this thing, it squeals, it falls down, there's already a hole in the floor, but it melts through the floor and falls. And then the whole elevator begins to drop.
Ah, fuck.
Kerr. Rose has pushed you out of the way and is now missing part of her head. It doesn't seem to be slowing her down much, but this black creature there, has this white blood dripping from its mouth, and you managed to regain your senses. Clearly, nobody's going to get through on the radio. Maybe they've all been killed. What do you do?
I think there's like a level of like, oh man, I'm going to pull out my gun. Well, I guess I still have my gun in my hand. I'm going to shoot at it.
Okay. So you click the attack button.
Pew pew.
Yeah, I'll shoot, and like, can I like do a move and shoot where like I'm like shooting and backing up or whatever?
Yeah, the actual functions of the game are you get a slow action and a fast action. The slow action is like an attack, and the fast action is like a move. In D&D, it's a standard action and a move equivalent, and this is slow and fast. Go ahead and roll panic for me.
Yeah. This is like my 4th panic roll.
Mm-hmm.
I can't keep it. Game over, man. Sorry, I can't remember. Oh, there's panic. You'd think I'd be very familiar with it by now.
All right. So gain a level. So as you're unloading on this, let me actually get the question out. You get 3 successes. The pistol is not a very strong weapon typically, but you can add those extra successes onto damage, or you can like stun at the enemy for a moment. Maybe panic won't work in this case. There's a few other things, but what do you want to do with your extra successes? And then I'll explain how this happens.
Could I do like a distraction to the enemy?
Basically stun it?
Yes.
Okay. So mechanically you're swapping initiatives with it, which means that it functionally loses its turn, but it will go before you. It basically will get another turn before it does.
Okay.
Is the mechanics on that. But what happens is I make a armor check. So you shoot it and you injure it. It splurts blood out, and because you're at distance, it doesn't hurt you. But the blood one point does land on Rose, doing a point to her. As you're firing on it, you're just pulling the trigger, and you're shooting it round after round after round into it until the magazine's empty. And then when you hit the button to drop the magazine, you hit the button to drop the magazine, and you realize that you don't have a second magazine to put in there. And this, of course, panics you. So that's what you get a level of stress from. Rose.
My priority is to get Care to the shuttle. So
okay. He's a lot more responsive now. So if you want to pick him up, it's going to be a lot easier.
Okay. I'm going to attempt again to pick him up and start running away.
Okay. So in this case, I will give it to you.
Okay. Fantastic.
Before, because it was much more a thing, but because it's stunned and you've got a little bit of time on it, you pick it up you pick up Kerr and you get back to the shuttle area. The creature has dropped off the ceiling and is reeling from the damage it's taken. And just then, Wong comes around the corner in this power armor. Now,
Sorry, Wong.
Actually, let me back up a little bit. Wong. Wong. You don't know what happened for the last 10 or 15 minutes or so. You have got the crate, you're in your power armor, but you run into the wall or hit your head or something. But you heard gunfire going off, and that stopped you out of it. And so, hurrying along with the crate in one of these big pincer hands and the other one free, you come around the corner to see this creature that stands to its full 9-foot height, dripping with acid blood, and looking for all the world like it's about to leap down the hallway and chase after Kerr. What do you?
I hit it into maximum overdrive. I assume this large crate's weighing me down, right?
Yes and no. The crate's supposed to weigh 55 pounds, which is big enough that a person could carry it awkwardly, but a person could carry it. But you're in a power suit, a loader lift, so it basically doesn't weigh anything as far as your loader lift is concerned.
Yeah, I with the crate in my arms, in my loader, I maximum overdrive towards the big bad guy.
All right, so you're going to attempt to make a melee combat roll with it, but instead of melee combat, this is going to be heavy machinery.
Yeah, and I'm gonna look really good doing it, like you bastard. I hate you. Try to do a stunt roll or something like that.
Okay, well, you can roll the dice first, and we'll determine what stunts you get.
Oh, okay. One moment. So let's see. I got a little bit of close combat. You said.
Yep.
All right.
Go ahead and roll a panic for me.
Okay.
So you come forward, and you're like, "You bastard!" And you're you put the slide on there, and the thing charges forward, and you swing with the fork arm on your left hand. You basically give him a haymaker, and the creature deftly dodges it. This thing is highly maneuverable, very agile, and you drop that shot right into the wall, leaving a big gash, and then you swing it back, and shout you shout something. What are you shouting at this exact moment?
You bastard, I hope you die in hell. Die right now. And I throw the crate on the damn thing.
Okay. In a lift, rapidly approaching the lower levels of the ship, Davis, Kingsbury, and Farquhar are beginning to panic because the lift is now dropping because damage has been done to it.
Yeah. There's a big old hole in the ceiling of this thing now, right?
There's a big old hole in the ceiling, there's a big old hole in the floor, and you seem to be moving into a free fall.
My instinct is to go up. So
okay.
That's what I'm doing.
So, Farquhar, go ahead and make a mobility roll for me.
Mobility.
Farquhar, with a high level of adrenaline, basically does parkour leap up through the hole in the ceiling. You get outside on the outside of the lift. There are you can see that there's emergency stopping cables, and there's a mechanism for stopping it on the top of the lift. Somebody shot it.
Damn alien.
But you also have some extra successes, which you can do a variety of things with, like showing off or helping somebody else do the same thing, or whatever else you think that would be cool.
Sure.
Cool. Tell me what you do.
Yeah, I'm going to, as I'm jumping up, I'm going to spin around and reach down and grab somebody else up with me. And
all right. For sake of argument, let's say it's Davis.
Great. Davis, congratulations, you're up here.
unless Davis does not want to go up there and Kingsbury does instead, you guys can speak out,
Oh.
but Davis is the closer one.
I don't know if Davis is here. So Kingsbury, you're here.
All right, let's go.
Okay. So actually, did we lose Davis's player?
It looks like at 11 he sent a message.
Okay. It's no problem. We were supposed to end at 11. I'm sorry we're going overtime. I'm trying to make it quick, but we're in the height of the action here.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, I'm all for it.
you could still grab Davis. I'll just take him over from this point.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll take Kingsbury up.
You get take Kingsbury up.
Go.
Kingsbury, you're now on top of the lift. It looks like there's the mechanism for stopping it has been damaged. But you are falling in this lift shaft.
Can I repair it?
Sure. I think heavy machinery would be the role to use for this.
I got
Give
zero for
any engineering abilities?
I got 0 for heavy machinery. I've got 1 for observation. Will that help here? Or can I use heavy machinery? Even if I have a 0 thing?
At this point in time, Davis pulls himself up. He's struggling, like he gets up there fairly quickly, but as he comes up, you can see that he's got like melted metal that's sort of stuck to his clothing as he's going up there, and he's like shaking his arm off pretty bad. He's like, "Oh damn! Help me with this." And he like pulls out a wrench that he's got, because he's got like a small tool bag with him, and he's got a wrench, and he jams it into the socket. So you can help him with it because he looks like he's going to try to jam it in there and like manually just stop the thing.
Perfect. I will totally assist with this.
So you can grab the end. It's large enough that Kingsbury could help too. Or Kingsbury might be able to command and monitor the situation.
I will step in to help him and support him.
Okay, then he's going to go ahead and make this roll. Because you guys are helping him, he gets +2 to that. It slips a few times, but you manage to pull it, and there's a smell of burning metal, and the lift stops falling quite so quickly, and it finally slows down. And as you get it all the way there, there's a clunk as Davis has managed to pull the thing fully shut, and he's like, "It's locked." And you look over, and you can see that you've fallen just past B deck. And the doors are basically right there that you're able to force open because no set of doors are going to stop you at this point. So you come out on a B deck, at which point in time the doors open and you see Sergeant Wong fling a box at another one of those creatures as the creature reels back and tries to and does what? And jumps on Sergeant Wong, attempting to attack him.
Before I get out my shotgun and do what I gotta do.
Now, since you've not had another action, you can attempt to counterattack with a close combat roll.
Okay. And if I gotta push it, I'll push it.
If you get the chance to push it, you'll push it.
Ooh, ouch. I want to be a hero sandwich, huh?
Nah.
All right, so you find yourself a bit panicking because this thing is bigger and heavier than you thought it was for how quick and
Should I add a stress?
Go ahead and roll. Go ahead and roll a panic check for me.
Okay.
But you actually catch the thing in the claw of your machinery there, and you may attempt to you may counterattack to it, grabbing this thing with the claw.
What is that, a skill counterattack?
No, you just get to do this. You roll. That's what the dice tell me you did, or you're able to do.
Is that another close combat then?
It's no roll. So you have a choice here.
Oh, okay.
You can squeeze the claw down enough to pin it into place on this thing, and then you can, or like turn and pin it against the wall so you can crawl out and the thing will be there, or you can try to crush it and hopefully kill it that way.
No, I'm gonna pin it. Whatever it takes to buy the crew more time. That's what I'm gonna do. So I'm gonna
All
pin
right.
it.
Kingsbury, Farquhar, and Davis come running down the lift. They are clearly injured, and looking a hell of a lot worse for wear. You get Kerr on the radio yelling, "Is anybody there? Please respond." Presuming at this point, I'm gonna take narrative control here because I don't think there's much more that goes on. You all run back to the Pamela. Like, forget the mission. There's monsters on board. We almost died. You all run back to the Pamela. You have you've restored communication, so you've got telemetry data. So the flight back is fairly easy and doesn't actually require Kerr to make any rolls whatsoever as you navigate the field heading towards the Malaga. And you see it out there. And as you're getting out, and you're about 20 minutes away from the station, because remember it's like an hour flight, and you guys have all had a chance to calm down a little bit. You see one of the escape pods on the Malaga launch, and then an explosion rips the Malaga from the middle to the front. Roll credits.
Well, everybody, we're McFucked.
What did we miss that we had to explode like that?
As the credits roll, you guys want to get a post credits? Actually, roll credits, and then I believe our producer has a way to will bring us out.